Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us as we explore the newly implemented 2025 Naturalization Test, a major upgrade that reshapes how aspiring citizens demonstrate their civic knowledge and understanding of American life. Now, the Naturalization Test has always symbolized the final defining step in the journey to U.S. citizenship. It assesses not only what applicants know about the U.S. history and government, but how they connect with the country's democratic values, civic duties, and language. To start off with, the 2025 Naturalization Test, which was effective October 28, 2025, marks the first comprehensive redesign in over 15 years. USCIS has introduced this version to modernize evaluation standards and make the process more consistent across testing centers. Let's delve a little bit into a comparison between the 2008 and the 2025 Civics test. So the 2008 test, first of all, had 100 questions. The 2025 test has 128 questions, with up to 10 oral questions asked in the 2008 test versus up to 20 oral questions asked in the 2025 test. The 2008 test needed 6 correct answers to pass. The 2025 test requires 12 correct answers. Question style for the 2008 test, short, based on the recollection. 2025 test is more descriptive, more comprehension-based. Format of the 2008 test was oral questions only. Format of the 2025 test, some oral questions, revised phrasing with an updated content. Now, 2008 test, the test stopped once the applicant got 6 correct questions. 2025, the test stops once the applicant gets 12 correct or 9 incorrect. The 2025 test basically emphasizes your understanding over memory. It tests how well you grasp the meaning of civic principles rather than merely recalling facts. But what remains the same? The first thing, English language component. Reading, writing, speaking requirements are the same. Applicants must still read and write 1 of 3 sentences correctly, and their speaking skills are assessed through N400 interview conversation. Interview format, that remains the same. The naturalization interview continues as a single officer-led session covering eligibility, civics, and English ability. Exceptions still remain the same. The 65-20 rule still applies. Applicants aged 65 and over with at least 20 years as lawful permanent residents take a simplified 10-question test from a smaller set of 20 questions. This continuity ensures fairness, stability, even as the civics content becomes more rigorous. Now, the question comes up, why has the test changed? Well, to be consistent with USCIS's modernization goals, to standardize and improve testing consistency nationwide, to ensure applicants demonstrate a functional understanding of U.S. history, government, and civic life, to better align the test with congressional and constitutional expectations for naturalization, and to reflect how civic education has evolved from rote recollection to comprehension and engagement. In short, the test now measures how well future citizens understand the principles behind democracy, not just their ability to memorize dates or names. Here is one example of a question from the USCIS 2025 Civics Test Bank that illustrates the shift towards deeper comprehension. Name one U.S. innovation. Accepted answers include light bulb, airplane, skyscraper, assembly line, integrated circuit, moon landing. The question goes beyond simple factual recollection. For example, who wrote the Declaration of Independence, and invites the applicant to connect with broader ideas about American ingenuity and its impact, thereby reflecting the updated focus on understanding rather than memorization. Another example is, why did the United States enter the Persian Gulf War? Compared to many of the older questions, such as who was the president during World War II, this newer question asks why an event occurred rather than simply who, when, what. One thing to note, that even under the 2025 framework, the English proficiency evaluation remains unchanged. Your reading component, 1 out of 3 sentences must be read correctly. Your writing, 1 out of 3 sentences must be written correctly. Speaking, which is assessed informally during the N400 interview. This reinforces that while civics has grown more analytical, language proficiency remains practical and attainable. So, What to expect in 2025. You'll study from a new 128 question bank available directly on the USCIS website. The officer will ask up to 27 questions orally, stopping once you reach 12 correct or 9 incorrect. The interview structure and the overall environment remain familiar. The questions now invite a slightly more descriptive answers, which is testing your understanding of why things are the way they are and not just what they are. The goal is a fair, clear, and consistent evaluation process for all applications nationwide. Here are some key takeaways. The 2025 test is now active for all applicants filing their applications on or after October 20th, 2025. Expect 20 questions from a 128 question pool with emphasis on comprehension and civic understanding. The English and interview format remains unchanged, maintaining accessibility. The update aims to make the process more uniform, meaningful, and representative of the American civic life. The 2025 Naturalization Test marks a new chapter in how America welcomes its new citizens, one that emphasizes not just knowledge of the past, but understanding of the principles that define our collective future. Citizenship still remains a milestone of belonging and contribution, and this new test ensures that every new American joins that tradition with a fuller appreciation of what it means to be part of the United States.